So first, Adrian, you founded your company in 2019 and have been active in the port industry since 2020. Can you quickly explain what AllRead is about and tell us how was your start in a global industry that is considered conservative and was at that time characterized by lockdowns due to the pandemic?
Okay, yeah, first of all, if you follow up the answer of ChatGPT and you tell ChatGPT, of course, you know, AllRead AI, who works with ports and OCR, then he will answer, oh, yes, I apologize. Now I know AllRead is a company that does this and that. I promise. You can give hints to ChatGPT when he doesn't give the right answer, and I'm probably sure he'll do the same with Atai. So about AllRead, we are a software company based in Barcelona, and we are dedicated to developing software of traceability of assets for gate in, gate out of ports and terminals through road, rail, and crane. So basically, we use the existing camera infrastructure to detect anything that gets in and out: container, dangerous goods, wagon, truck. And deliver the clean data with maximum accuracy to the terminal operating system in real time. And about our beginnings, well, actually, it's a bit specific because we're not the typical company that starts with a problem that it wants to solve. We started with a solution. So we are from the company was born in a university with an algorithm that could read very well. And so we thought about what we could do with that. And we questioned a lot of industries. We went to the automotive industry, pharmaceutical industry, a lot of industries. And actually, we ended up specializing in the port industry because we discovered that that's where we could bring most value with our AI technology. And so we came from a solution, found the problem, found that the problem is urgent, that it's monetizable, that it relieves a real pain of our clients, and we started working on that. And the welcome was quite good. We started with 3 ports, Algeciras, Bilbao, and Valencia in Spain that opened their doors to us and let us try things out. I think we happened to start in a moment where there was some innovation dynamic. People were starting to invest in innovation, having innovation managers inside the ports, innovation hubs, and that gave us quite a warm welcome, to be honest. And COVID, actually, after a small period of time of uncertainty because it was a massive shock, it quickly became a promoter, actually, of digitization. And so it accelerated, actually. First was an accelerating element because people noticed the impact of having people unavailable and of the need of automation.
So, Adrian, you mentioned already some of the points you're tackling. And can you give us a bit more on the typical problems you solve with your suggested AI solutions?
Absolutely. So it's critical for ports and terminals to control their ins and outs, to have proof of condition of the containers and vehicles that get in and out, because once it's under in their facilities, it's under their responsibilities. And there's massive value being shipped and transited through these platforms. And actually today, more than 95% of the players in the industry do not have access automation solutions because they're too expensive, because they're too depending on hardware, and therefore suffer from latencies, from bottlenecks, CO2 emissions, and of course an impact on operational efficiency. It's critical for the ports to have the maximum throughput because that makes the port attractive for any shipping company to transit through this specific terminal. So what we provide as a solution is based on computer vision and deep learning, a software that's easy to install, that connects to the cameras at gates, roads, trains and cranes, and immediately process the data and deliver the results in the terminal operating system. The differentiative element here is the robustness of the software, which makes hardware quite redundant, making it way more cost efficient and therefore accessible, affordable, democratizing access automation for ports of all sizes.
It's said that startups bring new perspective and agile approaches to problem solving into established industries. But don't you first have to develop an understanding of the processes and operations before you develop the right solution? So let's go to Adrian. What is the refreshing element that you bring in, and how do you manage to build trust within a short time?
Well, I mean, it's definitely a relevant question for us, given we were not born in the port ecosystem. So we could not solve a problem if we did not know it, and we're not familiar with the processes and the integration issues and well, everything that's around the implementation of a technology. So it was a learning process that happened through partnering up with ports and terminals, which we're quite grateful for, and which continues actually, because like for instance now since 1 year we're working with the automation of cranes, and that's a project that started in Innovation Harbor Cologne. So the innovation hub of HGK, which opened the doors and proposed to do a common project. So this is a constant innovation learning process that we initiated, started tracking containers, and then first for road, then for rail. And then we noticed there were dangerous goods. Then we noticed that to integrate, we needed to comply with certain rules. So it has been a long process for 3 years, a learning curve. The refreshing element is beyond the fact that our agility and speed boosts, I think, an industry and collaboration within the industry, and also this approach of putting the muscle in the software and in the intelligence, and not in infrastructure or in hardware. That's, I think, something that's highly appreciated by our clients, making it way more upgradable, updatable. The constant learning of algorithms somehow reduces obsolescence, meaning you install something and technically you can just constantly improve it or adapt it if there's a new rule or a new process that needs to be included in the operation. So I would say that's the refreshing part. And about the trust, time and people who took the risk. You have these always early adopters, and then you have the rest of the people who are some early adopters. Sometimes you have to be a little bit lucky. I think we arrived at a good moment in time where people were aware that they needed to listen to startups, to AI, to new technologies, and to include them in their process without really knowing what would get out of it, but freeing some budgets to try. And based on that, we built the trust with other clients, and now we are with close to 40 ports and terminals in Europe and Latin America. So now that I wouldn't say the trust is built, but at least some of it has been built.
Good, excellent. So I just see we have a question from the audience here, which goes to Adrian, and it says there are gate control systems in place in big container terminals. So what's the added value to traditional number plate or wagon number recognition, respectively damage control based on line cameras, etc., that your AllRead solution brings in?
Thank you for the question. So specifically, the fact that there are gates that are quite costly and hardware extensive, we developed an access control solution that needs less hardware, less infrastructure, is easier to install, to possibly to move and choose any tracking point or control point in the port. So by reducing this dependency from hardware, we free our client supports and terminals from the technological and financial limitations of the existing OCR solutions, by making it affordable and easy to install. So basically, we do not need to create the perfect conditions to be able to control ins and outs. We can use any camera positioned at the right place, process the images in real time, and deliver the right result. And so basically the return on investment, which is a key element here, is a differentiative point. You can also see it in cranes. The automation, OCR automation of cranes rely on robotics, which are amazing solutions that follow the containers up and down. By being able to spot the container, its code, and extracting it in any position, in any place in the image, it makes us way less depending on massification of hardware to control the environment.
So going a bit towards the technology, Adrian, what type of AI technology is used in your solution, and how do you keep up with the evolution?
Yeah, first of all, I wanted to say that I totally agree with what Stefan just said about the importance of processes and of deployment. So it might be a bit weird coming from a technology company founder, but I think technology is overrated somehow, because there's a big gap between technology and production, and technology and product, or technology and putting into production. I've underestimated, as an entrepreneur, I've underestimated this long way, between what works in a, I would not say laboratory, but even in a pilot project, when you start something and you have amazing results, but then suddenly the client says, okay, but there's also this case and that case and this exception, and then there is the rain and the snow, and then there is this terminal operating system, or this type of connectivity, or he wants edge devices or centralized server or cloud server. So the importance of deployment, of compliance, of incident management is absolutely key, and this is something obviously that the startup learns when it gets to a certain maturity, and which our clients have been requiring from us since 2021. So the fun part ends at some moment, and you have to deliver upon the expectations of operational directors, of terminal managers, which are not joking around with the high availability of a solution. So about the technology and how we keep up with the evolution. Well, first of all, we are lucky because we have very strong ties with the Computer Vision Center of Catalonia in Barcelona, which is one of our, let's say, co-founders, let's put it that way. We have 2 PhDs in the company, and we're financing one PhD actually as well, which does research for us. So we're really, the CTO is a PhD, by the way, and he has implemented this culture of innovation and of being on the edge, constantly on the edge of computer vision and deep learning. So we do traditional computer vision techniques. We do we develop deep learning models with neural networks, and we are tackling as well now the transformers. So the importance of not relying on our assets and on some established products is a key element of our philosophy. Working on our products, delivering them with the highest excellence is one thing. Continuously looking for improving them, making, for instance, our algorithms lighter, so they require less processing capacity. Stefan talked about edge devices. Well, edge devices are quite small devices, and so technically, if you have a massive algorithm that needs to be calculating, you won't be able to use these devices. So it's very important to reduce the consumption of CPU or GPU, and this is something that's continuous. A continuous development of your product.
Yes, absolutely. Adrian, would you like to add something about how AllRead promotes decision making? Quick summary.
Yes, if you speak about the gate control or access control, of course, you don't want to slow down your throughput and you want things to be fast, right? So if it's about controlling the correct association of the right container with the right truck, or it's about deciding that the crane operator is handling the right container and loading it on the ship, the output of our solution allows an immediate decision of opening the gate, of loading the containers. This is a very down-to-earth answer to the question. We have another project that might be interesting, maybe not so much real time, but more about data analysis. In the port of Barcelona, we're working on a smart gates project where we identify and classify everything that gets in and out. So meaning if the truck is loaded, if it's a tanker, if it's a container, if there are two containers on the truck, it's a motorcycle, if it's a Mercedes class A or B or C, well, going really into detail of each vehicle, and so to calculate possibly the CO2 emissions. And afterwards, I think using the big data, possibly taking some decisions about the managing the traffic inside the port facilities. So that's some very concrete examples of decision taking that we implement.
Adrian, how do your solutions consider data privacy, security, and compliance with relevant regulations?
So first of all, we thought when we launched, we started working with ports that we would be a cloud-based company, and we are absolutely not. So cloud has been completely discontinued, and we install our solution on premise. So inside the servers of the client, a virtual machine, on edge devices, but inside the control of our clients. So meaning the massive data flows of videos and pictures stays inside the facilities, inside the security framework of the port. So that's the first answer to the question. And of course we are I mean, like any tech company, you need to be compliant with the GDPR regulation. I noticed, by the way, that Germany is even more strict than the European regulation, plus with some specificity with each region, which makes it even more fun. But it's something you need to take into account. It's part of the job. And on the cybersecurity level, I think it's a great observation from Alois that it needs to be thought together, AI and cybersecurity. We're currently complying with the national cybersecurity framework in Spain, but we're continuously on the watch. Because from one client to another, there can be higher expectations because they anticipate possibly the regulation, So some terminal operators have had security breaches, and therefore they have increased massively, way beyond legal requirements, their expectations. So as a company, you really need to comply and demonstrate that you can comply to their requirements.
What is the first step a port should take to adapt to artificial intelligence? Very broad and quick answer. What comes to mind for you?
Actually, AI is a mean to an end. All right. So that's the key, actually. You don't care that it's AI or not AI or digital twin or hardware or software or whatever. I think the most important thing is that you know what you need, right? And in digitization or automation or whatever project it might be, and look for the solutions. And then in the solutions, the providers will be using AI. So actually AI today is like internet a few years or decades ago. It was a topic. Now it's just everywhere. So it's the same with AI. AI is embedded. If I come and provide you my solution of access control, you don't care that it is AI behind it that makes it better or more powerful or whatever. You just want your problem to be solved. So actually, I would recommend to focus on the end game and see AI as a mean to an end, and maybe enrich and force the curiosity on what is out there using AI to automate ports for your general culture. That's my humble opinion.
Yeah, I would like to ask each of our guests to conclude by giving us a brief summary of thoughts on the future of port AI and how it is likely to develop over the next 5 years, and how to bring that even further into the port industry. So please, 1 minute per person. And Adrian, would you like to start?
Yes, thank you. So I think that the perfect conditions are assembled or united for AI solutions to move forward and develop more, in the sense that chips and processing power is every day less expensive, more performing, more powerful, so more accessible and affordable for everyone. Big data is always more accessible, affordable, and usable. The complexity of algorithms is continuously increasing while reducing their own consumption of processing power. So there are big trends here that are very favorable to making the AI algorithms always better, more adapted, more easy to use in real life environments. So that's my feeling for the next 5 years is an acceleration, an increasing adoption and democratization of AI using solutions.